The Mexican roar echoed once again through Italian roads. Isaac del Toro, calm on the outside but burning within, proved that his season is no accident but the result of a frightening maturity for his age. The Gran Piemonte 2025 witnessed his 15th victory of the year, a number that sounds more like fiction than reality. Between Dogliani and Acqui Terme stretched a route that mixed elegance and brutality. 179 kilometres of winding terrain and 4 climbs demanding both brain and legs. Amid the rolling vineyards and ancient villages, the Mexican from UAE Team Emirates XRG left his mark once more. From the start, the peloton rode on edge. Breakaways sparked and died like sparks on hot asphalt. Isaac, faithful to his style, never rushed. He doesn't need noise. He relies on precision. Cameras showed him serene, protected by teammates, wearing that look only riders have when they know the right moment will come. The crosswinds stretched the bunch thin. Ahead, riders like Quinten Hermans, Jan Tratnik, or Matteo Trentin searched for their moment, but UAE kept the leash short. Del Toro didn't need to show strength. His mere presence commanded respect. Power was measured in silence. Hearts held their breath. Every corner, every slope carried the scent of autumn classics, where hesitation means defeat. The Mexican rode with the grace of someone who enjoys suffering, floating where others fought gravity. And as the kilometres fell away, something special began to hang in the air. It wasn't just another race. It was the prelude to Il Lombardia, the season's final monument. Del Toro wanted to arrive there with his soul on fire. His team knew it. His rivals felt it. When a rider carries that mix of hunger and confidence, the outcome is rarely in doubt. Italy was beginning to bow to its new king. The race turned into a nerve-wracking battle as the peloton left behind the first climbs. The air was thick with tension, that silent fear that spreads when everyone senses something big is about to happen. Teams moved with surgical precision, each shift of position part of an invisible choreography. On the horizon, the Piedmont Hills looked like a chessboard where every curve could spring a trap. The breakaway of the day finally took shape, full of hardened men. Belgian Quinten Hermans, Slovenian Jan Tratnik, Norwegian Adne Holter, joined by Victor Langalotti, Jascha Sütterlin, and Matteo Trentin. Riders who knew that glory was almost impossible, but dignity lived in the attempt. For kilometres, the front trio clung to hope while the peloton played with the clock. UAE Team Emirates controlled with elegance, setting a tempo that neither crushed nor allowed freedom, the classic mark of a team that dominates by instinct. Midway through the stage, as the road twisted between the Monferrato vineyards, Movistar and XDS Astana joined the chase. Faces tightened, jerseys soaked, team cars shouting from behind. It was pure cycling, that organised chaos only riders understand. Langalotti was the first to crack, a victim of relentless pace. Then Sütterlin, Eiking and Trentin fell away one by one. Each name that faded served as a warning. Hermans, Tratnik and Holter kept pushing, but the roaring peloton was closing like a tide that never stops. TV cameras caught Isaac del Toro sitting calmly in perfect position, his teammate Pablo Torres hammering the front like a machine. UAE's control wasn't cold, it was predatory, driven by instinct and purpose. The kilometres ran out, and the first ascent of Castelletto loomed ahead. There, where the gradient hovered above 5%, the real selection would begin. Legs would decide who could dream of the podium and who would fall into the shadows. The Italian chaos was only just beginning. Castelletto rose like a green wall, a ribbon of asphalt that started gently and ended by punishing everyone without mercy. On the first ascent, the peloton shattered into fragments. UAE Team Emirates imposed an inhuman rhythm, with Pablo Torres setting the pace like a metronome, slicing through the air and keeping his leader perfectly shielded. Each pedal stroke was a declaration of dominance, each curve a reminder of who truly ruled the race. Isaac del Toro watched from the shadows, crouched low, the calm predator studying his prey before striking. Behind, a chasing group formed, full of riders chasing a dream that still felt possible. Bauke Mollema, relentless as always. Mark Hirschi, clever and ambitious. Aina Rubio, Ion Izagirre, and Lorenzo Milesi, all fighting just to stay in contact. Inside that group, there was both respect and fear because they all knew that at any moment the Mexican could blow the race apart. Tratnik, Hermans, and Holter had already been swallowed by the roaring pack, consumed without compassion. At that moment, chaos gave way to strategy. It became a game of positioning, of not braking, of surviving one more metre than the rider beside you. Isaac stayed impassive, eyes fixed forward as if he could see the moment when destiny would demand his move. From Pogacar's team car came only the calmest of instructions. Control, patience, cold blood. UAE was clearly setting up something. The crowd, packed tight on the roadside, shouted his name with an Italian accent. Del Toro! Del Toro! And without looking, he answered with Watts. Every close-up showed the same image. His face still, his breathing steady, his mind locked on the road ahead. The sun hit the helmets. The air smelled of dry leaves and nearby glory. In that heavy atmosphere, the chosen ones were already at the front. There were no more doubts. The race had reached its boiling point. Those still in contention were riding more with their souls than with their legs. It was the calm before the roar, the silence before the explosion. And when Del Toro began to move up the line, the clock of destiny started ticking. The second ascent of Castelletto spared no one. The heat of effort was thick in the air, the sound of wheels buzzing mixed with the roar of the crowd echoing off the stone houses. It was there, on that stretch where the slope seemed to bend the road upon itself, that Isaac Del Toro rose from the saddle and rewrote the story of the day. His attack wasn't desperate. It was pure precision, a symphony of measured strength. In seconds, the group disintegrated. Hirschi tried to follow. Mollema clung to his wheel like a man grabbing the last train, and Aina Rubio fought not to lose the draft, but the Mexican was already flying. Silence fell over the peloton, that rare silence made of respect and resignation. Cameras caught Del Toro's gaze. Steady, unflinching, completely sure. It was the kind of move you don't calculate. You feel it in your blood. On the UAE radio came a burst of shouts, part joy, part disbelief, because the masterpiece had just begun. Behind him, Hirschi and Mollema found each other, two warriors chasing what little hope remained, pulling with grit to secure the podium. But ahead, the figure of Del Toro carved through the autumn landscape like a symbol of destiny. His pedal stroke, smooth and powerful, was his signature on the asphalt. The gap opened. 20 seconds, 30, 40. No one could match his rhythm. Every curve, every straight, was a blow to the hearts of his rivals. The TV commentator captured the moment with a single line that spread across Italy. He's riding as if there's fire in his veins. And it was true. On the final meters of the climb, Isaac looked back just once, only to confirm what he already knew. The victory was ripening. He descended toward Acqui Terme with surgical precision, no risks, no hesitation, as if fate itself had drawn a straight line to the finish. With every kilometre, the crowd grew louder, chanting his name. Mexico had found a new hero, and cycling a new story to tell. The silence was gone. The roar would last forever. The final stretch toward Acqui Terme was a glorious procession for Isaac Del Toro. Crowds pressed against the barriers, waving Italian, Mexican and UAE flags, fully aware they were witnessing something special. The young man from Ensenada rode with the serenity of someone who has already conquered his destiny. The clock showed a comfortable gap, yet he didn't slow down. He wanted to win with authority, leaving no room for doubt. Behind him, Hirschi and Mollema chased with dignity, two veterans silently acknowledging the rise of a new force. In the final kilometre, Isaac lifted his head slightly, breathing deeply, as if absorbing every cheer, every scream, every heartbeat of glory he had worked so hard to earn. He crossed the line with arms wide open, no theatrics, just that calm smile. The smile of champions already thinking about what comes next. His 15th victory of the season wasn't just another number. It was confirmation that cycling's new order has arrived. Behind, Hirschi outsprinted Mollema for second place, completing a podium that felt written by history itself. Inside the UAE bus, celebrations were short-lived. Eyes were already fixed on Saturday. Il Lombardia, the monument of fallen leaves, where Pogacar will chase his crown and Del Toro will aim for his final consecration. What began as a season of promise has turned into a campaign of certainty. 15 wins, flawless consistency, and maturity beyond his years. Pogacar knows it, the team feels it, and the rivals fear it. Every pedal stroke from the Mexican carries a strange balance of fury and calm, instinct and control, youth and wisdom. He's the kind of rider who doesn't need to talk. His racing is his message. As the sun set over the Piedmont hills, the echo of his victory lingered in the air. Isaac Del Toro hadn't just won another Italian classic. He had claimed something far greater, the certainty that he belongs among the elite. And now, as he heads toward Lombardy, he rides with his eyes on the future, carrying on his shoulders the roar of an entire nation.